As you can see here, I've got the terminal structures on the battery and everything. I've also got my grounding stuff, which I'll show you in just a moment. Now, as you plainly can see here, there are two different types of connectors. And really, I really could care less about the cosmetics sometimes because I'm more about how it works. And the reason why I picked these two different connectors is I don't actually have another one of these because I don't even know if StreetWire still makes this particular connector. I'm using an older Monster cable on the ground. Now, this is a really nice connector. One of the things I do like about this connector is that it uses a very large bolt here for you to tighten down with. The beauty about this is that is a very large Allen, and so you can actually get a lot of cranking power. A lot of the really cheap China stuff, that you can get out there, it uses a very small Allen, and so you just start cranking on it, it strips away, and it really is actually pot metal bolts. I mean, it's really junk. This is actually a very good grade quality bolt that they're using here. Another piece that I'm using is a very old. This is very old compression fitting style. This is also a Monster cable piece, and the reason why I like using the compression fitting pieces is that it works exactly like the name sounds. Here is this back end of this thing it unscrews, and you feed your wire in. You wrap the leads over this connector here, and then insert it and then tighten it down. This first off, the first major property of this is that it seals. The whole system becomes one solid sealed object, so you don't have to worry about any water infiltration or any kind of corrosion. The second is that if you do have to change out the cable itself, it's just a matter of just disconnecting here, pulling off, and going from there. On the power side of things, again, like this particular unit, the reason why I like this unit here is that it uses a really unique way of attaching the power structure. I don't know if I can get this to look right, but as you can see, this is a CNC'd piece. This connection here bends around the post, and so you have this tightening lug right here, and it pushes against it, and it puts a huge amount of compression on it. And so this thing is solid. It will not move at all. This is the cable going from the alternator to here, which has been attached. I've combined all the cables to a junction point here, so I've got coming from the alternator, going to the battery, and also there's a subsystem, there's a secondary wire in here, and I'm pretty sure it's a fusible link. It's what it looks like to me. The other part that I like about this connection here is it uses a mini A&L, and so you've got this small little bitty fuse that's right here, plus also the large lug, which I'll use another Monster cable in to connect onto. This just makes it this is a really smart connector. It allows you to not have to have a fuse holder. Just replace this piece here, and boom, you're done. Now, on the ground side of things, I have gone in and I've connected all my grounds to the central lug right here. The paint has been removed, and what I'll end up doing in the end is I will put a coating over all this right here so that it doesn't have, it's a water infiltration. Don't have to worry about that. I'll probably use some sort of a rubber-based adhesive, and I'll just pour it all over this, and it'll make it look like a big black goo mess. But all the connections are done. All the soldering points are all taken care of. And this leads down to the frame rail, which I had never showed you, so I'll go ahead and show this. Here, the frame rail has been taken care of. This is also an actual bolted unit. Now, when you're doing frame rails, it's always best to do a bolt, not just screw it into the frame rail or so. Bolting is the best way to ensure that you're going to get maximum surface contact to the frame rail, and that really is super critical to doing this, because if you get like it equates to like a cold solder joint, is really what it would be like. If you don't get your contact surface well, then what will end up happening is that you will have high resistance at that point. And if you have high resistance, then your current flow will go up. We also have a finished ground that goes to the block. The axle is attached to the block itself to maximize the amount of current or ground capability through this system. So we've upgraded the 3 grounds, which is super critical. We've also upgraded the power wire, which is good. I mean, you don't have to always do that, but in most cases it's pretty nice to do. Once we run it through, it'll run throughout the car. It'll go in the frame rail underneath, and then it'll exit probably in this neighborhood right here. This is where the driver's seat would be at. So it'll exit right here, and I'll have a series of grommets, and make sure that whenever you're popping through metal, you want to grommet your systems. It'll end up going here because right in this area where the seat is, there is a bucket, and this bucket is going to actually be my power distribution center, plus also it's going to be also where my processor is going to be located at. And most people think, well, that'll induce noise, and to be honest with you, if it does, I'd be amazed. So the processor will be in there, and also the fuse. And this allows for him to be able to open this little bucket real quick. If he blows the fuse, he can just change out real quick. No having to hunt underneath the seats or something like that to go for it. Now remember, when running power cable, some of the 101s on power cable running. One, don't run it through the door jamb. That's a bad choice. I've actually seen people do this. Another one that I've seen that actually is also another really bad choice is running it through the trunk lid. I don't know why anybody would run it out of the rear door, then over the car's body, and then through the trunk lid. I've seen this done. It's some scary stuff. So another thing is where I've got this all up in the bare section and stuff like that, I'm going to go ahead and run some new deadening material, because as you can hear, this is actually a double piece of metal, and they're really thin, and so there's some really bad resonance in here, and this is just going to rattle bad. So I'm going to try to dampen this as best as I possibly can. I actually might run some screws through the sheet metal to tie the two pieces together throughout this area. But Dodge built this, and to be honest with you, that's a noise-making monster right there. On the passenger side, as you can see, there's nothing on the floor underneath the passenger side, which is really, really strange. There's a small piece back there, but there's nothing directly underneath the seat. Another thing is that the actual foam on the back of the carpet panel is a molded foam, and so it's really dense, and it'll probably absorb an enormous amount of noise. But I still want to kill off some of these noises that are here. Down here on the floor, the firewall is well done too. So, other than that, that's it for right now. I will show you more once I've got all the wiring completed. Oh, one other thing really quickly. I'll be running all the major wires down the center of the vehicle and then breaking out from side to side instead of running them down here in the door jamb. And this way, I don't have to worry about when I try to put down all the panels and it bulks up and everything. But I've got to run them through the doors, through the grommets and stuff. And a lot of people, I've seen the way people run grommets and stuff. If there are grommet structures in here, some of the new ones are like plug-ins and stuff that go in the walls. People have a tendency to chintz out on running wiring into the door, and you don't have to do that. You can actually pull the connections apart and then drill them out, because there's usually an extra couple in there. You can drill out and then run your wiring cable. It takes a little bit more time, and it's a lot harder to do, but to be honest with you, it is a better choice. So anyway, I will